Rahim. Ya Nur Maulana Shah Karim Al Husaini Hazir Imam, Hazir Imam. Ya Maulay Mehrban Madad Farma. Ya Maulay Mehrban Madad Farma, Madad Farma. Ya Maulay Mehrban Madad Farma. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Nur Maulana Shah Karim Al Husaini Hazir Imam, Hazir Imam. Tawfiq, Tahid, Himmat wa Yari Maula. Ya Maulay Mehrban, Tawfiq, Tahid, हिम्मत व यारी मौला या मौला हम गरीबों की अपने नूर के साथ अपनी शफ़क़त के साथ अपने खाना वदान के साथ अपनी कुर्बत के साथ हिदायत फरमा मौला या मौला हमको इस सिरातुल मुस्तकीम पर आगे से आगे और इल्म और समझ के साथ बढ़ाना मौला नूर मौलाना शाह करीम अल हुसैनी हाज़िर इमाम तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी मौला तमाम साथियों को एक बार फिर या अली मदद thank you for joining us today and thank you for inviting and giving this Garib and Nachis some moment to talk about our tariqah. It would be proper that after talking about niyat, intention in our tariqah, we talk about the action that must be followed, the niyat. I was kind of amazed and surprised when someone asked, is niyat is good enough or do we need to do anything after that? When we said the niyat is required for all deeds, my assumption was that everyone understood that you or one cannot take action without a good intention. With that question, let's talk about what is required after a good intention, and that is action. If someone have a good niyat of going to Jamat Khana, good niyat of doing ibadat, but then one becomes lazy in him or herself and do not follow the niyat with action, what would the niyat do for that bandaye mu'min? Yes, niyat is good if for whatever reason outside your control, you are not able to follow the niyat, then the niyat will be accepted in the place of action. But niyat is not a replacement of action. આ વાત બહુ જ સમજવાની છે ને મને ઘણો તાજુબ થઈ ગયો જ્યારે કોઈએ મને પૂછ્યું કે નિયત કરવી કાફી છે કે એના પછી બી કાંઈ કરવું છે જ્યારે કે આપણી આ બારામાં સારી तरह ડિટેલમાં કન્વર્સેશન થઈ કે કોઈ બી કામ કરવાથી પહેલે એની સારી નિયત કરવી જરૂરી છે. શું હતું? કોઈ બી સારા કામ કરવાથી પહેલા यानी के काम करवानो હતું એનાથી પહેલે નિયત કરવાની હતી. તો પછી આ ક્વેશ્ચન ખતમ થઈ જાવો જોઈએ કે નિયત કરવા પછી શું કરવું છે. लेकिन because we have that question, we must go into detail. And what we just realized that out of 140, 200 or future listeners, we are all on different level of understanding. We cannot assume everyone is understanding every single word is said. And that was my assumption, and that was not a correct assumption. Now let's come to the part action after the niyat. There is a hadith Qudsi. Does everyone know what is hadith Qudsi? The kalame ilahi, kalame bari ta'ala. What Allah said to Prophet Muhammad is called Hadith Qudsi. The reason it's called Hadith Qudsi, not an ayat, because this Hadith Qudsi did not take place in the book, in the Quran. Therefore, it's given a rank of Hadith Qudsi. Allah says, those people are near and dear to me, the one who serve my extended family. શું કીધું? ખુદાવંદ તાલા ફરમાવે છે કે મને દુનિયામાં ઈ માણસો બધાઈ કરતા સારા લાગે છે જી મારી ફેમિલીને સર્વ કરે છે, જી મારી ફેમિલીની ખિદમત કરે છે. અહીંયા વર્ડ છે કુંભા, extended family ની ખિદમત કરે છે. Now, what does that have to do with our subject of Jamat Khana and understanding rites and ritual? But it has everything to do with our tariqa is the tariqa of logic and intellect. Logic and intellect. So let's see if we can apply some logic and intellect to this. And what is that? How one, a mu'min, who may be going to Jamat Khana every day, may be reciting dua punctually every day, waking up for ibadat every day, attend sataras, not only majalis, but all of the majalis. But his actions are not matched. His deeds are not matched. His tongue and thoughts are not matched by his action. What are the example of that? He goes to Jamat Khana every day, but he sits there and backbite, gossip, He goes to Jamat Khana and he raises his voice, laugh out loud, bother people, annoy people, harm sometimes physically, emotionally, or intellectually the Jamaat. Now, remember, his niyat was to go to Jamat Khana to do what? His niyat was never to gossip and backbite or harm the Jamaat in any way, shape, or form. But that is exactly what his action was, and it did not match his intention. So when Allah said, those humans are near and dear to me, the one who serve my Jamaat, my people, my extended family. Can we imagine what kind of action would it require for us to be near and dear to Allah? Let's think about it for a second. Quietly, let's think. What action would it take for us to be near and dear to Allah? Let's talk physically, spiritually, and intellectually. As a human being are living on 3 levels: physically, spiritually, and intellectually. If that is the case, then how do we serve the fellow Jamaat, our family and friend, and the Nurani family, and the humanity at large? Let's talk about physically first. And I want all of you to ask yourself a question, a personal reflection. If your answer is, yes, I have, then Mubarak to you. If your answer is, I cannot even think, when was the last time I did that? Then you have to rethink entirely when we call ourselves Momin, Imams, spiritual children. Are we really Momin and spiritual children of the Imam? Or as according to Imam's Farman, Khali naam na khoja, kaam na nahi. We have enrolled our name as Ismaili, but our action and deeds does not match. And it's a self-reflection. No one is asking you, no one is judging you, and you do not have to tell anyone. So let's talk about this on 3 levels. Let's talk about it physically. Question: when was the last time you helped someone in the Jamaat? Half of you may be a volunteer. As a volunteer, you may be standing on a duty. That's fine. But when was the last time you went out of your way to help a Jamaati member? If your answer is today, tomorrow, today, yesterday, or this week, Mubarak to you. If your answer is, I cannot even think of the last time I did that, then we need to go back and we need to do some self-reflection. Let me remind you of this. તમારામાંથી મને ઈ સારા અને પ્યારા લાગે છે જી મારા કુંભાની મારી ફેમિલી મારી એક્સટેન્ડેડ ફેમિલીની સેવા કરે છે ખિદમત કરે છે. And I even gave a way out. Someone can say, well, I'm volunteer. Then, okay, again, ask yourself a question. When was the last time you went out of your way, not a duty, to help someone in the Jamat? If you cannot think of a day in this week, then I would strongly suggest that you must rethink your duty as a volunteer. And if you are not a volunteer, then again, same question goes for you, because you do not have to have a uniform to help someone. When was the last time you helped someone? That is the question. And that was physically. Now, let's talk about with your money and your knowledge. We're still talking about physically, okay? When was the last time, other than AKF, Akhan Focus, Nandi Memani donation in Jamat Khana, did you help someone? When was the last time? If your answer is yesterday, this week, I can remember helping someone this month, Mubarak to you. If your answer is, I cannot even think the last time I helped someone, then I would say you need to do some self-reflection, some self-digging and thinking. Now, let's talk about your knowledge. You have some ilm, may it be something that you learn in school, college, some skills that you have. When was the last time you shared, and I'm not talking about gossiping, the things that you forward on your WhatsApp. That is such a waste of time, most of the time. When was the last time you saw a great ilm, a great ginan, a farman, and you shared with someone? Not Mola Bapa no Godo Jiti Gyo. That is not ilm. I'm talking about something to help your Jamaat elevate themselves physically, spiritually, and intellectually. Again, if your answer is, I have done this yesterday, this week, this month, Mubarak to you. Otherwise, we need to go back and think. Let's look at the spiritual side of this. That was the physical side. One good habit that our Jamaat has, and no one can deny that, you know what that is? We are always praying for our Rouhani. We are always praying for our Rouhani. So our today's thought is, how many times and when was the last time? Today, yesterday, or this week, did you pray for your Jamaat? Pray for your family. Pray for your friend. Pray for the humanity. When was the last time? not the Rouhani, because we already have that good habit in our Jamat, very, very good habit, always praying for the Rouhani. We have that. But when was the last time when we went to the Jamat Khana, we sat and we prayed for the Hazir Jamat. We prayed for the Jamat who could not come to Jamat Khana that day. And we prayed for the Jamat all over the world, especially in those countries where Jamat is in very much need of prayers. When was the last time we did that? What we are saying, that our niyat is there, our action needs to follow. A good deed must be not for oneself and one's family, because you cannot say, well, I'm helping my children do their homework, so I am helping someone. That is your duty, remember that. That is your duty. Other than your duty, what have you done to go out of your way to help someone? So your volunteer duty does not count at this level, because here we are talking about what do you do with a good intention to help someone outside your daily chores, your duty to your family, your duty to your Jamat, which is your volunteer duty. How many times do we pray for others? How many times do we go out of our way to help someone? May it be a physical help, or praying for them, or one other thing. So good deeds and well wish. One cannot have a good deed or well wish in his heart if one is backbiting, gossiping. How would you have a well wish for someone while you are gossiping or backbiting about that person? You think, would that be possible to do? Think about it for a second. No, you cannot. Because you only can wish well for someone, and you can only pray for someone if your heart and your thoughts and your mind is pure for that person. But if you have ill thoughts, if you have been gossiping or backbiting about someone, how will you have a well wish and a good prayer for that person? Just to wake you up, to jolt you a little bit. You have a good niyat of going to Jamat Khana, and then you do offer your prayers, your nandi, your dua. You do anything and everything that was supposed to be done in our rites and ritual. But then you sit there and you backbite. May I request everyone to please mute your mic. and then you sit in the Jamat Khana and you are backbiting or gossiping about someone. What do you think you are bringing home? What are you bringing home? You think you are bringing home any good deeds, any sawab? આપણે જમાતને જઈ આટલી મહેનતથી જમાતને જઈ દુઆ પડીએ, દસો નાખીએ, તસબીહ કરીએ, દુઆ કરાવીએ, નાંદી કરાવીએ, એના પછી કોઈની બુરાઈ કરીએ, या એના પાછળ એની મસ્તી ઉડાડીએ, સ્લેન્ડર કરીએ એને. આપણને શું લાગે છે આપણે જમાતને જઈ ને કોઈ સવાબનું કામ કર્યું? શું લાગે છે આપણને? We need to be mindful of this. Mindful of this. Remember, again and again, our tariqa is the tariqa of logic. Does it make any logic that you go to Jamaat Khana and then you backbite? All right, let's ask question again. The last time when you were in Jamaat Khana, be honest. Who did you laugh at? Who did you slander? Who did you gossip about? Who did you backbite? Come on, let's be honest. Because if we are not honest, we cannot correct ourselves. First, we have to realize that there is a problem so we can fix it. So we can fix it. So spiritual good deeds and spiritual well-wish. And what is that? How do we do that? That was one of the questions that we received. How do we do that? You always think of everyone better than yourself. Oh my God. આ તો બહુ મુશ્કેલ થઈ ગયો હવે. આપણા કરતા સારો કોઈ છે જ નહીં દુનિયામાં. હું તો હંમેશા right. I know it's very hard. What I'm just asking you to do is almost impossible to do. Always think of everyone better than yourself. Can we do that? હંમેશા બીજાને પોતા કરતા સારો સમજવાનો. હવે આ તો મુશ્કેલ થઈ ગઈ. આ તો કામ નામુમકિન છે. મુશ્કેલ તો મૂકો, મુમકિન જ નથી. Not only is it hard to do, but it's almost impossible to do. Think of everyone better than yourself. Can we do that? બહુ મુશ્કેલ કામ છે ને? એટલે કે આપણે તો બધા કરતા સારા, આપણે તો કોઈ ગુનાહ બી નથી કરતા. In this very line, someone said one time, but I cannot think of a single thing I'm doing wrong. અહીંયાથી જ આપણને ખબર પડે છે કે આપણી પોઝિશન ક્યાં છે, how we are thinking, and how we going to have well wish and well pray for others if we do not even think of them as our equal or better than us. Because we are always thinking lower. આપણે બધાને પોતાથી નીચે સમજીએ તો પછી એ લોકોની બુરાઈ થશે, ક્યારે બી સારાઈ નહીં થશે એ લોકોની. So spiritual good deeds and well wish is a must. Otherwise, we are wasting our time in rites and rituals, praying, dua, and all that, because it will not help you without a clean heart, pure thoughts for others, our brother and sister, for our Jamat. Well wish for them and well pray for them spiritually, intellectually. How do we help our Jamat intellectually? Learn the true ilm. Learn the hakiki ilm. Always learn the correct understanding of our tariqah. And then, if you cannot teach that to others, encourage others to learn as you are learning the ilm. MashaAllah, today we can see there are so many ilmi programs online, and everyone are encouraged. And we tell each other, we encourage each other. We even remind them again and again to come and learn the ilm. So tomorrow you can help others learn the ilm. And that's how either you teach or you bring someone with you so they may learn, and inshallah one day they can forward those lectures, those ilmi points. Do not sit or learn those things which are outside of our tariqah, outside of our rites and ritual, outside of Imam's farman, outside of Imam's ginan, and anything other than our tariqah. Please, again, I am so surprised that we do not even pay attention to what we are forwarding in our group on our WhatsApp. And I see so much trash coming through those groups on daily basis, by the hundreds, by the thousands. And some of them are outside our tariqah. And let me tell you, let me warn you, if you are forwarding an ilm which teaches someone to go outside of our tariqah, you are responsible for that soul. You are responsible for their soul. Do not forward trash and do not waste your brother and sister. If you are truly their friend, don't waste their time. What kind of friend are you if you are wasting his or her time all day long by throwing trash at them, sending them something which they don't need? And sometimes, God forbid, you are forwarding something which can harm their soul, their faith, and they may leave the Imam and our tariqah. You will be responsible for that if you are not paying attention. All right. The last thing before we go to Shirazbagh question, and that is when we go to the Jamat Khana, or when we are in these ilmi groups, when we gather in these groups to offer our prayers, be mindful of what comes out of your mouth. Be mindful of that, because this is a serious business. You are gathering on these groups to offer your prayers. You are here to earn some good deeds. Be careful. Be careful. What comes?
आँखा वापस उतरने का देखो कितना सारा निकल गया. बारी आँखा वापस टेढ़ा हो गया. बोलो तो.
Be careful with your tongue and your tone, because this can harm you spiritually, and you are also involving other friends, other Jamat, other group member here and in the Jamat when you go there. So be careful of that. So let's come to Shirazba's question. If Shirazba is still here, then we can talk about it. And he was talking about a Ginan and a Farman. So this is your chance. Go ahead and repeat your question so it gets recorded, and then Nachis will try to reply to that.
I'm still here. So, I've just unmuted myself. The question I asked was that we, in the prayer circle today, sang a Ginan. Dar lagyo us din ko jab, when he will call, jab Imam will call us in front of everybody and, ask us questions and etc., etc. Tilna lekha leshe, etc. And also, at the same time, immediately somebody recited a farman in which Hazimam solved that problem, that you have to have faith in your religion, and the faith of Islam will help you a lot, that you should have good integrity, help everybody, because Hazimam in the previous sermon said, help where help is needed, give love where love is needed, etc. And the first part of your lecture today was very interesting. And after we finish it, I have a couple of comments to make, but let's finish this subject. And if you will allow me, I will also make some comments on some of the very important points that you, and as a matter of fact, these points that you took up, actually one of them happened just this afternoon, but we will talk about it afterwards. But at the moment, let's concentrate on the Ginan and the Farman, which Hazimam gave us clear indication what we should do. So we should not be afraid of the day of judgment. Thank you.
Okay. So now there is a problem. Peer is saying something and Imam is saying something entirely different. So which one do we follow? Amazing, right?
Yes.
So how do we understand that they both are correct? 100% correct, not 99%. They both are 100% correct. And let's talk about that. How can both be 100% correct? Let's look at the Ginan first. If we do not follow the ethics of Islam, if we do not follow our tariqah with the logic and intellect, if we do not follow our niyat with action, if our good deeds and well-wish does not follow as per Hadith Qudsi, then Pir is saying, I'm really afraid for you. I'm fearful for you. Because you were told and told again and again, so you may know what is right and what is wrong. But I do not see you following the ethics of Islam. Your moral has a flaw. Your niyat is incomplete. Your deeds does not reflect your niyat. And therefore, I am very afraid, I'm fearful for you. Because on that day, you would have no excuse. Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah Salawatullah Alayhi, may our soul be sacrificed to that Imam, says that you Khojas, you have the Imam and all the Farameen. What excuse would you have on that day? Others may have an excuse that we did not have the ilm and the Imam. What excuse would you have? And on that line, Pir is saying I'm very much afraid. I'm fearful for you because I do not see you following the ethics of Islam. I see yourself calling a mu'min, but your attribution and your actions are not of the mu'mineen. So I'm fearful for you. Now we go to Imam's Farman. Imam says, but if you follow the ethics of Islam and your deeds follow your intentions, and you are following the Farameen, when I tell you your life is short, do not waste your time. Help where help is needed. And there was a question earlier. When was the last day we remember in this week when we went out of our way to help someone? If our answer is, I cannot remember, then we already have a problem. When was the last time you did not gossip or backbite someone? Was it today that you were gossiping about someone or backbiting someone or slandering someone? Was it today? We already have a problem. Come on, we have to be honest to ourselves. If we cannot be honest to ourselves, how will we correct ourselves? You see, the Farman and what Imam said, that we must follow the ethic of Islam. And that covers everything, every single Farman, every single Ginan. How will we follow the Farman? If our heart is dirty for someone, our thoughts are not good for someone, how will we help them? How will we extend our hand, our love, our resources for someone if we cannot even think of someone well? We cannot even pray for someone well. We cannot wish for someone well. And ગુજરાતી માં હું તમને આ કહેવા ચાહું છું તાકે ભલે આપણે થોડા હસીએ પણ વાંધો નહીં. ઘણી દફા આપણે જોઈએ છે કે કોઈ ગલત કામ કરતું હોય ને, સારું છે, પડશે ને પોતે શીખી જશે. How many times have we said that to ourselves? Even though it sounds like a joke, but we do that all the time. ભલે થોડો ભંગાશે ને તો શીખી જશે પોતે જ. See, our wish was not well for them. Matter of fact, our wish was ill for them. I'm going to stop and then I'm going to let Shirazba talk. I'm going to again make a light joke. But if you trust me, if you believe in what I have been saying to you, let me tell you, it's not a joke. It's going to come out as a joke. I'm going to tell you as a joke. But if you believe and understand what I have said and I'm saying to you, this is not going to be a joke for you. And I'm about to tell you something that a lot of you have asked me over the years, and sometimes I dodge your question and I don't tell you the answer. But today I'm about to tell you something from the other side, not from this side, from the other side. In this world, if you have ever wished for someone ill, I have a warning for you. You will pay for it. And here comes the joke. All right? બધાથી પહેલે મારી બહેનો ને મારા યંગ ભાઈઓ માટે આપણે જોઈએ જમાતખાનામાં કોઈ છોકરી, ખૂબસૂરત છોકરી, આટલા મોટા હીલ વાળા શૂઝ પહેરી આવી છે. She has a wonderful dress, high heel, looks so pretty, so beautiful. ફોરેન આપણા દિલમાં શું આવે? કેટલું ફેશન કરે છે, આટલી મોટી મોટી હિલ પહેરી છે. હમણાં હિલ તૂટી જાય ને પડી જાય ને તો ખબર પડે. આ હિલ જેટલી મોટી મોટી પહેરીને ફેશન કરે છે ને, અગર આ હિલ તૂટી જાય ને પડી જાય ને તો ખબર પડે. લેકિન then you go on your way, she goes on her way, nothing happens to her. Now let me show you what really happened that day, that moment, that you had that thought about her. Let me tell you what really happened. That thing was recorded in your book of deed. And you will be shown. You will be, not you may. You will be shown on the day of judgment that that girl was actually you wearing a high heel shoes. As soon you had that bad thought about her, the heel broke and you fell down. What you had thought about her actually happened to you. And પીરે શું કીધું હતું કે મને તમારી એક ચિંતા થાય છે કે ઈ દિવસે જ્યારે તમારાથી પૂછાણા લેવામાં આવશે ને તો મને તમારી ફિકર છે. આઈ એમ વરી અબાઉટ યુ. બધા એના સામે એક મૂવી દેખાડવામાં આવશે કે જેમાં આ બાજુ બી તમે હશો ને ઓલી બાજુ બી તમે જ હશો ને તમે પોતાને જોશો કે જી તમે એના માટે વિચાર્યું હતું ને એ તમારા માટે ટ્રુ થઈ ગયું. I know it sounds like a joke. It's not a joke, my friend. It's not a joke. Whatever you wish for other will happen to you. Your angels are recording everything in your book of deed. If you will wish for others, the good deed will come to you. If you will wish for others, that ill wish will return back to you. And that is a truth. And that will happen, and you will see it. If you don't believe me today, you will see it tomorrow. If you believe me today, ask for forgiveness. And never ever wish ill for others. Always, always, always wish well for others. And the good will return back to you in this world and in the other world. So let me stop here. Ji.
Okay, sir. Can I? Bismillah. Please do not misunderstand my comments. I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm not blowing my trumpet, but couple of points that you raised today are kabile tarif, and I need to make a comment on it. You asked, first of all, when was the last time that you helped somebody in Jamat Khana or wherever with money, etc. I will give you an example what happened to me when I was going to Khana. This happened not recently, but a few time ago. I was going to Khana and I was sitting in a train. The train was, partly packed. There were lots of people. And then there came a homeless person or whatever it is. He was badly dressed and he was asking everybody for some money, because, and he had a little thing like I'm homeless, etc. He passed by everybody and nobody gave him anything. Nobody paid him any attention. When he came to me, he looked at me, I put my hand in my pocket and whatever change or whatever I had in my pocket, I gave it to him and he was so happy. And it also made me very happy as well, that worth the money spent to see that happiness. As he walked away somewhere else, the guy sitting in front of me said, "Sir, you think you did a great job, isn't it? By giving the money, and you think you are a great man. You know what is he going to do with the money?" And I said to him, "Sir, can I answer your question?" I said, "I'm going at the moment for my prayers. I'm going to God's house. And when I say my prayers, you know, God is going to ask me. I sent a man to you today. He needed some help. Did you help him? And I'll just get up and I'll be proud to say, yes, I did help him. I did give him some money. And then if he takes my money and goes and spend it in a better or a bad way, which you think he does, his Lord will ask him when he gave you the money, did you use it in the right way? So it's between him and his God, and it was me and my God, whatever I gave him. That was one point. One other day, when I was going to Khana, my wife gave me some, milk and some fruits, and said, "Take this as my money and put it there." When I came out of the station, there was a guy who was poor, begging money. So what I did was I gave that whole thing to him, the money, everything. I don't know whether I did the right thing. Please tell me whether that was a good deed or a bad deed. That was point number one. Another point you raised was, when was the last time that you shared your ilm? We just did it this evening. We heard that Ginan and we heard that Farman, and we asked you to share that ilm with us. That was my point number two. My point number three is, when did you do any bad deed or anything in Khana? Sir, aaj kya hua? I went to a shop to buy something. It was round about 12 o'clock, and at that time, always religiously, we say our tasbih, we call our name of Allah, Imam, etc., etc. And I bought some things from him, and I walked out. He gave me his receipt. And as I was walked outside after I finished my tasbih, I looked at it and I saw that he hadn't charged me for one item, So when I reached home, all the way, it was pricking me that you were saying your tasbih, and this guy forgot to charge you. Is it right that you should not pay him back the money? So when I reached home, I quickly phoned him and I said, you didn't charge me for that. But he said, no, there was one item which I charged you as one item, but that has already been charged into two items. So I was pleased that, why, because I was thinking that if I didn't tell him, it would prick my mind that, oh, I cheated him. So what was use of you saying tasbih, etc. And then the other thing you said just now about the joke about that pretty girl. Actually, you raised a very good point. And I will also tell you a joke that next subject, sir, you have to teach us what is the actual meaning of Bad Nazar. How do you make Bad Nazar? Now, if I saw a pretty baby down there, because I heard this in one of the waises, when you see, for example, if you see a pretty little baby and he said, oh, what a beautiful baby, that is admiring Allah's creation. But if you said, Mari hoto, so then that is Bad Nazar. So I would like you to explain to us next time in your lecture, what is the real meaning of Bad Nazar? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Some great points. If there was any question in there, then there was one question about the Nandi you offered to a homeless man.
Yes.
And remember, our deeds depends on our intention. That's exactly was the point. Your intention was to take the Nandi, which was accepted by the Imam Zaman, and your deed followed as the ethics of Islam, and you helped someone as he needed the help and the food. So there was nothing wrong with that. G, do we have any other comments or question?
Aziz, I have one question for you.
G.
You say, okay, about forgiving bad thoughts and everything. I know somebody who was very badly assaulted by somebody in the name of Allah. Now, how does that person then learn to forgive that person?
Well, that is the key right there. If you are praying for your children, then that is your duty. If you are praying for your enemies, that is the ethics of Islam. Do you understand that part? What is ethics of Islam?
Yes.
You do for others which is not required of you, and then you still do it.
Okay. But this person, I know
this... तो दुआ करना सभी करते हैं. कभी दुश्मन के लिए दुआ करके देखो तो कोई बात हुई.
This person I know, does the dua, does the prayers, but continuously in that person's mind, the assault repeats over and over again. And then, you're trying to say your dua, and I understand what this person is saying, that, and people will say to that person, "Inke maaf kari de, bulivin, je tevio." But how does that person move forward when they're trying to sit in bangi, sit in prayer with one mind, with one spiritual mind, with the Almighty, with Mola Bapa, with Allah, how does one person take those thoughts out of their head when they're praying, when the thoughts are all continuously coming through?
Imam has a farman on that. And I'm going to just repeat or quote their farman.
Okay.
Forgive and forget. She may have forgiven him, she has not forgotten.
Yes.
Forget and forgive and forget. Both has to go together. If you wanted to hang on to it, you know what? You cannot harm that person. Only person you really harming is yourself. It's not him that did damage to you. Now you are doing damage to yourself. So how can you be above that person? He did one-time damage. You are doing damage again and again. So you are not better than him, not in any shape and form. You may call yourself a victim, but you are victimizing yourself now. So who's the victim now?
Understood.
Forget and forgive. Yes. G. Any other comments or question?
Good boy. Well done. Boy.
There is a question. Yeah, Hamida. Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, there are a couple of hands raised.
Yeah. Okay, question. What time of death that life review movie is played? Please explain.
3 seconds before you die. That was easy. If you like to learn more about it, there are 2-part question answer at the time of death. Listen to that. It happens 3 seconds before you die. G.
iPad, you got a question? iPad 3. Tazim Jamal.
Yes, Yani Madad on my side. I
Yani
wanted
Madad.
to comment, Polali Madad. I wanted to comment about the assault issue. Yes, we forgive and we forget, but it's a process. The mind the psychology has to process it. And in one of the goals of one of us, Diamond Jubilee, he has said that we have to even take care of our mental health. And like in Nairobi, in Kenya, we have so much of that introduced by the council. They encourage all of us to go for counseling, and you probably also know it very well that in Quran Sharif, Allah has said that counseling is legit. It's a form of well-being, having counseling. So this person who has been assaulted should also go for counseling to be able to come in terms with it so that she can truly forgive. But you are right, when we get upset and we are upset with somebody, we're actually holding a burning coal before we have thrown the coal at that person.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you for your comment. G. I see a hand raised. Go ahead. Go ahead if you have your hand raised.
Can you hear me? Yali Midat.
Now I can hear you.
How do you deal with kids telling you that I'm spiritual not religious. Because apparently something happened in Khane, and they kind of just lost their interest after that. And then now I know the kid has high intellectual capacity, but then I always get this answer that I'm spiritual, not religious.
Right. So this is a new term or vocabulary our children have learned.
Yes.
And the reason is because they are listening to everybody and not even understanding what is spiritual means. Because a spiritual one will never tell you he is spiritual. Because spiritual is not a word that you throw around. It's the way of life. It's the way of practicing one's tariqah and religion. And you do not throw that word around. But this is just something that they use. I would not take it personally. I don't think they really understand what they are saying. They just learn something. You know, it took me I don't know how many years to take the Hindu vocabulary out of the Jamat. I'm talking about this group of people. Because they were so used to using their terms and terminologies, karma and jug and I don't know. I mean, because we learned these terms, we have no idea what it means. And we just use it, you know? So the same thing goes for the kids. They do not have a Hindu terminologies. Now they have a different verbiage that they throw around, a language that they throw around. But I would not take that personally because this is how they talk. But if your question is, what do I do about that? Pray.
Yeah.
Pray for them. Pray for them. Just pray for them. Don't worry about it. Trust Imam and pray for them. Ji.
Pray for them. Yeah, I am doing that, but I see this beautiful girl who's like in front of my eyes, just losing faith, and I don't know what I'm praying, but I can't expect कि मैं आज pray करूं और मौला like emergency में ASAP, okay, you need this, चलो.
All
I'm
right, so
giving you
let me
this.
add one more word. Believe and pray for her. Believe and
Believe.
pray for her. Because sometimes we pray, we don't believe that it's going to happen. Believe and pray for her.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. G. We have a few more hands raised. Go ahead, Shiraz.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to do the lecture next Saturday on Bad Nazar. But I wanted to ask you a question on that, was that if somebody does Bad Nazar, and I have heard from other people that Bad Nazar sin will not be forgiven. But I thought to myself that Allah is Rahman and Rahim. He will forgive your sin.
So what is your question then? So one side you're saying it will not be forgiven, one side you're saying is Rahman and Rahim.
That is,
so which one is
according
correct?
to me. That is according to me.
No,
but
I
what
mean, it's not
heard
according to
from them-
you. Don't you? Okay, let me look at what group is this. Don't we have our dua every day? Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim.
Yeah.
What do you mean according to you? No, that's not according to you. This is what we believe.
Yeah,
that
that
is
we
Rahman
believe
and
from,
Rahim.
yeah.
Then what is the question? Of course he will forgive you.
No,
Iman, faith, believe.
The person who was saying that it will not be forgiven is wrong.
All right. I don't know. Why would I call anybody wrong? I don't even know him. It doesn't matter he's right or wrong. It only matters what I believe in. Do I believe in his rahmat? That's all. Remember, it's my soul I have to answer. It's not him. Why should I think bad about him that he was wrong? I don't want to add that to my conscience that he was right or wrong. He has his free will. He can say whatever he wants. I have no problem with that. What do I believe? I have problem with that. G.
Well said. Good answer.
Thank you.
G. Next.
Alright, side, can I try, please?
G. Sure.
I wanted to comment about the Batnazar question the gentleman is asking. Of course, Allah forgives, is most forgiving, but we provided we don't repeat it. Whatever we ask for forgiveness, we shouldn't repeat it. You know, like we make all those mistakes throughout the month, and maybe go for Chandra's chanta, we say, forgive, thank you, Jay. Then we start again. So it has to be conscientious.
That reminds me of that gentleman. I was telling a story last week that we have this wonderful, I mean, just a wonderful moment in our Jamat. And one day I was asking him that I noticed that you come to Jamat Khana early in the evening, then you disturb everyone in Jamat Khana. And then you wait until the end, and then I see you going to Mukhi Sahib and you praying, where other people normally come in early. They go to Mukhi Sahib, they ask for Tobo Tobo, they sit in a corner, they do their tasbih, and they are engaged. And he said, he answered that this is exactly why I do that. That I do all my sin, all the bad things first, and then ask for forgiveness, then pure, and I go home. So you are right in your saying that we should not do Bad Nazari. Not that Imam is not Rahman and Rahim. How about we don't do that in first place? I'm not saying to do bad deed and then ask for his forgiveness. But if by not intention, if something that you have done, then you ask for forgiveness, you will find him very, very merciful, Rahman and Rahim. That's what it meant. G, next.
Do you mind if I
Go
ask
ahead,
a
please.
question, please,
Go
Shamira?
ahead.
With a lot of respect, you can't dismiss saying that somebody saying that they're spiritual, that means they're kind of boasting that they are. Today's people, children, adults, they will always say, I may not believe in something, but I am spiritual. And they are. They don't
Okay.
have to being spiritual. It doesn't mean that you're saying your prayers every day, doing your bangi. Being spiritual, as you said, the niyat and the intention of helping people, that is being spiritual. And whether whether you're an Ismaili or you've gone away from being an Ismaili, you're still spiritual in what you believe in. So we can't dismiss that word spiritual, because people do say it now. It's a very in word. That is the intention and that is the niyat.
I agree with everything you said, except one part. There is no spiritual if you are not with Imam. If you leave Imam, that part I do not agree with you, but everything else I agree. And remember, your belief is with you, and others' belief is with others, and my belief is with me.
I absolutely agree with you, because I'm a staunch Ismaili. But if somebody tomorrow tells me I'm not happy where I am and I found another path, that is his path or her path. And I believe just as we travel, whether we're traveling on ring roads and motorways, we get to that path to Allah. And everyone is allowed their choice. So parents don't even have a say when children grow up, whether they still are Ismailis. Children may turn around and say, I'm not happy. I want to be, I'm going to believe in this. We can't cancel that out, that he is not spiritual or he's not religious. He is finding his own path and his journey. And that doesn't mean he's not spiritual. It's his
Like
journey.
I said, your belief is with you and my belief is with me. I have no problem with your statement.
I guess we
Thank
just
you.
pointing out